The screen flickers to life, blackness, silence. Then, a sound. A floorboard creaks. The tension builds as the silence stretches, making every small noise feel like a thunderclap in the stillness. A whisper of wind chills the air. It rustles through the leaves, making them sound like whispers of long-forgotten secrets. This is how fear begins. It starts as a small seed, planted deep within the mind, growing with every passing second. Not with a scream, but with a feeling. A feeling that something is lurking just out of sight, waiting to pounce. An unsettling awareness that something is wrong. The hairs on the back of your neck stand up and your heart begins to race. In the realm of short horror films, every second counts. Each tick of the clock is a reminder that time is running out and the terror is closing in. You must grab your audience from the very first frame and drag them, kicking and screaming, into your nightmare. Make them feel the fear as if it were their own. How? By creating an atmosphere so thick with dread it suffocates. Every shadow, every flicker of light must add to the sense of impending doom. Think of your opening scene as a promise that what lies ahead will be a journey into the heart of fear, a promise of the terror to come. Each step forward is a step deeper into the unknown. A darkened hallway, lit only by a flickering bulb. The light dances on the walls, creating shapes that seem to move and breathe. A child's toy, abandoned and forgotten, lying in the middle of an empty room. It's a silent witness to the horrors that have unfolded. These are the seeds of fear, planted in the fertile ground of your audience's imagination. They take root and grow, fed by the darkness and silence. Let the darkness seep into their bones. Let it wrap around them like a cold, clammy hand. Let the silence amplify their every fear. In the absence of sound, their minds will fill the void with their deepest anxieties. This is how you build a horror film, brick by terrifying brick. Each element carefully placed to construct a world where fear reigns supreme. Every monster has an origin, a beginning that sets them on a path of darkness and despair. Your killer, the heart of this terrifying tale, is no different. They are the embodiment of fear, the shadow that haunts the night. Who are they? What drives their bloodlust? What lurks beneath their skin, behind their eyes? These questions linger unanswered, adding to the mystery. Remember, simplicity is key. We don't need a complex backstory, just a glimpse into the darkness that consumes them. A single moment, a fleeting memory, can be enough to understand their descent. Perhaps they were once ordinary, twisted by a single horrific event, an event so traumatic, it shattered their soul and reshaped their reality. Or maybe evil has always simmered beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to explode. A dormant volcano of malevolence ready to erupt. Let their actions speak louder than words, each sinister deed a testament to their inner darkness. A lingering look at a potential victim, eyes that pierce through the soul, revealing a hunger for chaos. A cruel smile that doesn't reach their eyes. A smile that promises pain and suffering. The way they hold a weapon with a familiarity that chills the blood. Each movement calculated and precise. The killer is the conductor of this macabre symphony. Every action, every decision, a note in their dark composition. Don't reveal too much, let their motives unfold like a poison slowly spreading through the veins of your film. Allow the audience to piece together the puzzle, to feel the dread creeping in. Silence can be terrifying, but sometimes words cut even deeper. Dialogue in a horror film is a scalpel, used sparingly but with deadly precision. Each line should heighten the tension, not deflate it. Avoid cliches and exposition dumps. Let your characters talk like real people, even if they are living through a nightmare. A simple line, delivered with trembling fear, can be far more effective than a monologue about the nature of evil.
Don't look behind you.
I thought I was alone.
He's gone, but he'll be back.
There's something wrong with her.
These are the whispers of dread, the chilling premonitions that linger in the air long after they've been spoken. Let your dialogue be a slow drip of poison, seeping into the minds of your audience, amplifying their every fear. The setting of your film is more than just a backdrop, it's a character in itself. It breathes, it watches, it waits. Choose a location that already feels heavy with history, a place where darkness seems to cling to every corner. An abandoned house, its windows like vacant eyes staring out into the night. A dense forest, where shadows dance and branches reach out like skeletal fingers. A once vibrant carnival, now a graveyard of broken rides and shattered dreams. Use light sparingly, letting shadows conceal more than they reveal. Play with angles, creating a sense of unease and disorientation. Every creaking floorboard, every flickering light bulb, every gust of wind whistling through a broken window should add to the growing sense of dread. Section 5. Sounds of silence, screams of fear, the power of sound. Sound is the unseen actor in your horror film, capable of sending shivers down spines before a single drop of blood is spilled. Silence, when used effectively, can be deafening. The absence of sound heightens anticipation, making every creak and groan feel like a threat. Explore the YouTube audio library. It's a treasure trove of unsettling soundscapes and spine-chilling effects. A low, rumbling drone can create an atmosphere of constant unease. A sudden, sharp sound can make your audience jump out of their skin. Don't forget the power of silence. Let it stretch, building tension until the audience is holding their breath, waiting for the other shoe to drop. Section 6. The slow burn, mastering the art of suspense. True horror doesn't rely on cheap jump scares, it simmers beneath the surface, building slowly, inexorably, until it boils over. Think of your film as a pressure cooker, and suspense is the heat you're slowly turning up. Give your audience time to stew in their fear. Let them linger on a shot for just a beat too long. Hint at the killer's presence without revealing them. Use subtle clues like a door left slightly ajar or a flickering shadow in the distance. Remember, the anticipation of fear can be just as powerful as fear itself. Don't be afraid to let the tension build, to draw out the suspense until it becomes almost unbearable. Section 7. The face of fear, unveiling the monster within. What does your killer look like? This is a question that can define the entire atmosphere of your horror story. This is a crucial question, but the answer doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the ones that are the simplest in design. Sometimes the simplest approaches are the most effective. A plain mask can evoke a sense of dread that a more elaborate design might not. A mask can be chillingly effective. It can strip away the humanity of the wearer, leaving only a blank, emotionless face. A blank white face, a grotesque grin frozen in time. These features can haunt the viewer's mind long after the scene has ended. It robs the killer of their humanity, turning them into a symbol of primal fear. The mask becomes a vessel for the audience's deepest anxieties. You could also choose to show very little of the killer's face. Sometimes, less is more. A glimpse of an eye in the darkness can be more unsettling than a full reveal. It leaves much to the imagination. The shadow of a figure, backlit by flickering flames, can create an iconic and terrifying image. The less you reveal, the more terrifying their presence becomes. The unknown is a powerful tool in horror. Remember, true horror isn't about blood and gore, it's about what you don't see. It's about the anticipation and the fear of the unknown. It's about the fear that festers in the dark corners of our minds. The unseen terror that lurks just out of sight, waiting to strike. Section 8. Red stains on a silver screen, the art of violence. Violence in horror is a delicate dance. Too much and it becomes gratuitous, too little and it loses its impact. The key is to suggest rather than show. Let the audience fill in the blanks with their own imaginations. A splash of blood against a white wall, a hand reaching out from the darkness, grasping at nothing. The sound of a struggle, muffled and desperate. These are the brushstrokes of terror, painting a picture far more disturbing than any explicit gore. Remember, the true horror lies not in the act of violence itself, but in the anticipation, the aftermath, and the psychological toll it takes on both the characters and the audience. Section 9. The final frame. Leaving them gasping for air. The ending of your film is just as important as the beginning. It's the last impression you leave on your audience, the final note in your symphony of fear. Resist the urge to tie everything up neatly. Ambiguity can be far more terrifying than a predictable resolution. Consider ending on a cliffhanger. The killer vanishes into the night, leaving the fate of your characters uncertain. Or perhaps the protagonist, seemingly safe at last, catches a glimpse of something unsettling in the mirror. The goal is to leave your audience with a lingering sense of unease, a seed of doubt planted in their minds that will continue to grow long after the credits roll. Section 10. Lights, camera, terror, bringing your nightmare to life. You have your story, you have your killer, you have your soundscape of dread. Now it's time to bring your nightmare to life. Don't be afraid to experiment. Use the limitations of a short film to your advantage. Embrace simplicity. You don't need expensive equipment or elaborate special effects to create something truly terrifying. All you need is a good story, a clear vision, and the willingness to embrace the darkness. Remember, filmmaking is a collaborative process. Find people who share your passion for horror, who aren't afraid to push boundaries and explore the depths of human fear. Together, you can create something truly special. Section 11, Beyond the Screen, Sharing Your Horror with the World. Your masterpiece is complete. Now it's time to unleash it upon the world. YouTube is the perfect platform for short horror films. It's accessible, it's immediate, and it has a built-in audience hungry for chills and thrills. Craft a compelling title and thumbnail that will stop viewers in their tracks as they scroll through their feed. Use keywords that will help people find your film. Engage with your audience in the comments section. Ask them what scared them the most, what they thought of the ending. The most important thing is to be proud of what you've created. You've poured your heart and soul into this project, and it shows. Now sit back, dim the lights, and enjoy the screams.